What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my betting breakdown video for UFC Long Island. We have Brian Ortega going against Yair Rodriguez.
I need all the wins, yeah. Harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
And we are back for another betting breakdown video this week, breaking down a 12-fight card. Pretty solid card here. Definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be another light week for me. I think I have 5 bets, but all are very, little sprinkles here and there. It's actually my lightest week of the year in terms of units bet. But good news is next week I already have 10 units on the line for UFC London. I think UFC London is a great opportunity. I already have some big bets there. But this is the kind of week where I'm taking it light. Lots of really close fights, a lot of sketchy spots. But we'll definitely talk about all those and go through a betting perspective and a betting perspective as always. Before we get started, if you guys can please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. It'll be much, much appreciated. And I say we get right into it, and we'll start with the first fight of the night. We have Emily Dakota going against Jessica Penney. We have Dakota who's minus 155, and Penney is plus 135. I want nothing really to do with this fight. We have Dakota who's much younger. Jessica Penney's like 39 years old at strawweight, and she's on a 2-fight win streak. Although I didn't really agree with Lupita Godinez's decision, but still going out there and being competitive with Lupita Godinez at this point of her career, it's definitely impressive. Dakota, watching tape on her, I wasn't extremely impressed, but she's solid. She's well-rounded. She has some wrestling, some grappling, but her striking's solid, and I think she's going to use this striking to win this fight here. Just Dakota needs to come out of here, stuff the takedowns, keep it on the feet, pick apart Jessica Penney. I'm not sure she knocks out Penney, but I think she can kind of pick her apart and ultimately win a decision. Dakota by decision plus 160. And again, I'm not betting on this fight. I have no bets on this fight, but I think that's kind of where I look. I look more towards the Dakota side. If Penney wins, honestly, it's probably by submission, which is only plus 450, so you're not getting anything for that. So it's a pass fight for me on the first fight of the night. The pick's Dakota, but just not betting this fight. I don't bet fights like these anymore. All right, next we have Dwight Grant going against Dustin Stoltzfus. Dwight Grant, probably the most frustrating fighter to bet on, to watch. This is a guy that has a lot of physical abilities, and he is coming up a weight class, which is a concern in its own right for this fight. It's going to be the first time that he will be up a weight class in his entire career in the UFC, I believe. So, but with that said, he's still going to come out here and he's still going to have a height and reach advantage against Dustin Stoltzfus, which is very interesting. But that's something to take a note of. Dwight Grant has a ton of power, just the low volume. You can't bet on a guy in Dwight Grant who's going to go out there and potentially just do nothing. The volume has just been a concern throughout his career. Could he go out there and put out Dustin Stoltzfus? Potentially. But I could also see this being a very uneventful fight with not a ton going on. Dustin Stoltzfus is a very popular dog, and I get it to an extent. Stoltzfus, he's, maybe he goes out here and gets takedowns, maybe he goes out here and gets control time, but, Dwight Grant typically does have very good takedown defense. He does have a very good get-up game. I think this is going to be a very uneventful fight, a very boring fight, honestly, and I think Dwight Grant kind of edges it out, landing the bigger shots on the feet, landing the better shots on the feet. Not a ton going on the feet, but just stuffing the takedowns, keeping on the feet, and winning a decision here. I guess the one thing I looked for earlier in the week was that over 1.5. I think it was like minus 175. Now it's like minus 210. At that point, I think I'm just going to pass on this one. The pick's Dwight Grant by decision. Could he knock out Stoltzfus? Potentially. The knockout's plus 180. I don't love that. But yeah, Dwight Grant's the pick, but not betting on a Dwight Grant fight. All right, next we have Dustin Jacoby going against Da Un Jung. This is the people's main event. It's the fight where we have a ton of people on Jacoby and very confident, a ton of people on Da Un Jung and very confident, and some weird line movement on this one. So Da Un Jung opened up a minus 110 pick'em, and Da Un Jung went to an underdog, and he's currently a minus 125 favorite. Jacoby opened up minus 110 pick'em. He went to like minus 130, something like that, and now he's plus 105. I did see plus 112 on Jacoby, but this is a very close fight. We have Dustin Jacoby, who is going to be the better striker. I think he's going to be the minute winner. I love the volume out of Dustin Jacoby. On the flip side, you have Da Un Jung, who's going to land the harder shots, and I guess people might be thinking Da Un Jung goes out here and wrestles. Jacoby, his takedown defense is but his get-up game is elite. We saw that Da Un-jung was able to go out there and take down William Knight 8 or 9 times, so maybe that's what people are kind of seeing in Da Un-jung, but I think this fight does primarily play out on the feet, and at that point, I still think it's close. I think Jacoby's going to be landing the more volume, and then I think Da Un-jung's going to be landing the harder shots. If there's a finish in this fight, it probably does come from Da Un-jung, but I do lean towards the Jacoby side. So, just a fight. And I was tempted at plus 112 on Jacoby, but even then, I'm like, it's a close fight. This really could go either way. I was kind of waiting to see if the line would get even wider. Like if Jacoby's like plus 120, plus 130, absolutely, I'd have to bet that. But I think it's a fight I'm just content with sitting back and watching. Should be a close one. I think it goes to decision. Slight lean Jacoby here. Bill Algio going against Herbert Burns. Bill Algio minus 205. Herbert Burns plus 175. I think it's a good spot for Algio. I think Herbert Burns is pretty much sub 1 or bust, and I think that's going to be very tough against Bill Algio, who is a black belt in BJJ. If you look at Bill Algio, he has been submitted twice, but those submission losses were both 8 years ago and 10 years ago, so a long time ago. Bill Algio obviously has improved. Like I said, he's a black belt at this point. I think it's a really tough matchup for Herbert Burns. If you do like Herbert Burns, bet him by first round, bet him by submission. I think I saw like Herbert Burns by submission at like plus 420. Like, I think that's literally how he wins, but again, I just don't know if he's going to go out there and submit Bill Algio early, and if he doesn't, I do think Bill Algio takes over as the fight goes on, wins that second and third round, potentially even get a finish. The spot I do like in this fight, I did not pull the trigger on it, but kind of sneaky spot. I think it's Bill Algio to win by either round 3 or decision at plus 130. I think I saw it on DraftKings Sportsbook. Bill Algio, not much of a finisher, but if Herbert Burns is extremely gassed, I would like to cover that third round in there as well. So instead of laying minus 205 for Bill Algio, I think the round 3 decision plus 130 is kind of where I'd look, but another fight I'm passing on. All right, enough passing. Let's get some bets in here. We have Jack Shore going against Ricky Simone. We have Jack Shore minus 150, Ricky Simone plus 130. I think this line is kind of nuts. I feel like it's going to be a very close fight. I do slightly favor Jack Shore here, but Ricky Simone's going to have an opportunity to come out here, get takedowns. The dude, Ricky Simone, averages almost 7 takedowns per 15 minutes, and on top of that, level of competition is key here. Ricky Simone has fought the much better competition, and it's really not even close. Jack Shore's taken a big step up here, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be close, but instead of betting a winner here, I like the fight goes. I like the over 2.5. And I do have a bet on the over 2.5 rounds. I got it on BetOnline at minus 210. I have 1.25 units on it. Light card, like I said, it's my biggest play of the night. 1.25 units on the over 2.5 rounds. Simone Jack Shore, I think it goes over. I think it goes to decision. And then I also have a quarter unit on the fight to end in split or majority decision. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be very competitive. I think this fight very well could be a split plus 400 quarter unit to win 1 unit there. Those are my 2 bets. I like the over, I like the split, I like the fight goes. Whoever you like, probably bet him by decision. If there is a finish in this fight, it is probably Jack Shore. Ricky Simone has been knocked out before, but Ricky Simone typically very tough, very durable. Ricky Simone, a black belt in BJJ in his own right. I think this is competitive. I think it goes over there. So those are my first 2 bets of the night. And yeah, it was like Wednesday. I was like, I'm going to have literally 0 bets on this card. I hate this card from a betting perspective. Nothing's sticking out. And then I end up with like 5. So, but even then, like, this is such a light card for me. A lot of really sketchy fights, a lot of close fights. But those are my first 2 bets of the night. Shore, Simone, a fight goes over 2.5. Split, I like all of those. Hopefully there's no finish. All right. Punahele Soriano, Dolce Longabola, a fight that I will not be touching. Both guys extremely untrustworthy in terms of their cardio. I feel like it's either a Soriano round 1 knockout or this fight gets extremely sloppy. I would say bet the over 1.5, but that would be extremely terrifying. Both of these guys hit very hard. I think that over does hit though, so if you're looking for something, I think the over 1.5 rounds is interesting at like minus 160. I can't do it myself because these guys hit like trucks. So I like Soriano to win. Minus 220 is just nuts. It's going to be extremely sloppy, extremely competitive if this does reach that second round. Both guys' gas tanks are just terrible. But Soriano for the win, over 1.5 if anything. All right, next we have Miesha Tate going against Lauren Murphy, another fight that I will not be betting whatsoever. Miesha Tate minus 200, Lauren Murphy plus 175. I think Tate wins. Just can't really get to that minus 200. Miesha Tate She should be the better striker. I think it's close. Miesha Tate's striking has improved a lot throughout the years. Lauren Murphy, I've just never been impressed with any aspect of her game. And if Miesha Tate is able to get this fight down to the match, she's most definitely going to be winning minutes. Miesha Tate is coming down a weight class here. We saw her weigh in. She looked good. I like Miesha Tate to win this fight, but minus 200, just can't. No, I would never do that, ever. But I do think she wins. Shane Burgos going against Charles Jourdain. Probably the best fight on the card outside the main event. We have Shane Burgos minus 165, Charles Jourdain plus 145. And yeah, so I was on Stat Tickers with Uncle Weezy on Sunday, and we're kind of like, I think a sneaky angle could be that fight doesn't go to decision on 5 dimes at the time. They had the fight doesn't go at like plus 115. I was like, yeah, I like that plus 115. And then for some reason, other books just took forever to open up these lines, and the fight doesn't go was getting smashed on 5 dimes. And by the time I was able to get access to it, the fight doesn't go was like minus 145. And I would have loved it at plus money. If you got it at plus money, there you go. But yeah, minus 145 to the fight doesn't go. A lot of money, or a lot of people are on that over on over 2.5 on the fight goes to decision. I wish that was kind of moving the line a little bit, but no, just money's still pouring in on this fight doesn't go, and minus 145. And at minus 145, I can't touch that. I liked it more towards a pick'em because at the end of the day, both these guys are extremely tough. These guys are very tough to finish, but these guys are just going to stand in the middle and bang until one man falls. Both guys are so dangerous. Both guys have a ton of power, can finish the fight anywhere it goes. That's why I lean more towards the fight doesn't go, but at plus 115 on Sunday, I would have loved that, but did not have access to that line. Therefore, minus 145, I think that's about right. As far as like a bet in this fight, though, I was very close to playing Shane Burgos here, minus 165. Tempted, but it's going to be a war. It's going to be an absolute war. Shane Burgos, although I love his striking offensively, the guy is extremely hittable. He eats punches with his face. That's a concern. And Jourdain does hit very hard. So all those are some concerns. But, Burgos is going to have a 6.5-inch reach advantage. That's significant. I think Burgos is the better striker. I think Burgos is going to throw more volume. So a lot of reasons to like Burgos, but the striking defense concerns me. The fact that they're just going to throw down concerns me. The fact that Burgos has taken a ton of damage has concerned me. But I think I'm going to pass on this one, but I was very tempted on Shane Burgos there. And as far as like picking a prop for Shane Burgos, I could see a decision, I could see a knockout, I could see a sub, So, I mean, if you like Burgos, I'd play him straight. If you like Jourdain, I'd just play him straight. So, I can see so many scenarios in this fight, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a very fun fight. I'm content with just sitting back and watching this one. All right, have another bet here. Sumadarji going against Matt Schnell. I have a half a unit on Sumadarji to win inside the distance at plus 130. That line has been smashed throughout the week, and these violence props have been smashed, and rightfully so. One thing I will caution on is this is a 125-pound fight, which you want to be kind of careful when you are laying chalk on these fight doesn't goes unless there's like a very good reason to do so. And I think this is a fight where there is a decent enough reason to lay this price tag on that fight doesn't go. If you like the fight doesn't go, I don't hate that at minus 175, minus 150. Just know you are overpaying compared to the division finish rate there by a decent amount. But Sumadarji finishing all 4 of his losses, all 4 by submission. Matt Schnell finishing 5 of his 6 losses, 3 by knockout, 2 by submission. If you like Madarji, instead of laying minus 255, Madarji inside the distance currently like minus 120. Knockout prop plus 100. I think Madarji does go out there and knock him out in the first or second round. Matt Schnell, reckless, wild at times, very chinny. As always, Madarji, very good striker, lots of power. I don't think Schnell's chin holds up here. So Madarji, half a unit, plus 130 inside the distance. I still like it now. But Matt Schnell by sub, plus 700. That was actually like plus 1,000 at open on BetOnline. If you like Matt Schnell, that's literally his path to victory, submission. But if you are relying on Matt Schnell to go for takedowns, you're probably going to be very disappointed, just like a lot of people are very disappointed betting Vandera, expecting him to go for takedowns. They just don't wrestle. Schnell, only like 1 takedown in his entire UFC career, technically 2 in terms of the numbers, but his opponent kind of pulled guard in that complete a takedown. I literally only saw him get one takedown. So if you're relying on Schnell to go for takedowns to get them, you are going to be disappointed. I think Medarji does knock him out and does it fairly early. But yeah, plus 130, Medarji inside the distance. Half a unit is my bet on this one. All right, next we have Muslim Salikov going against Li Jingliang. We have Salikov minus 150. Lee, the Leech, is plus 130. I did take a half unit shot on the Leech at plus 144. The reason being is, I think he's going to have a lot of advantages here. The Leech is not only going to be 4 years younger, he's going to have a height advantage, he's going to have a reach advantage, he's going to have a volume advantage, he's going to have a cardio advantage, just a ton of advantage in this fight. Pure skill in terms of the striking, yeah, you favor Salikov there, but Salikov is extremely low volume. Salikov does slow down as the fight goes on. Salikov is 38 years old at this point. I think the Leech is very live to win this fight. Neither guy has ever been knocked out, which is very impressive considering they have a combined, a ton of fights. They have 45 fights combined. Neither guy has ever been knocked out. So that kind of makes me lean towards that over there, but both these guys do have a ton of power. I like the Leech here, though, as a dog. I feel like this fight's going to be playing out fairly close. I feel like it does go to decision. The Leech by decision plus 425 kind of caught my eye, but just the Leech straight, this guy's a ton of power. Muslim Salikov, again, 38 years old, low volume, bad cardio. I think the Leech has a very good chance to win this fight. And at plus 144, plus 130, underdog price tag, I'm willing to take a shot on the Leech here. Next, we have Amanda Lamosh going against Michelle Waterson. I don't really want anything to do with this fight. But Lamosh was minus 450, I saw, on Friday or Saturday, last Friday, Saturday, which is nuts. And money is coming in on Waterson, and rightfully so. This fight, Lamosh isn't going to look minus 285 unless she goes out there and finishes Waterson, which I don't really see happening. I guess if anything, it would be Lamosh to win by decision minus 105. Waterson only finished once in the UFC. That was against Rose Namajunas back in the day by submission. Other than that, I think Lamosh just lands the bigger shots here. But, minus 285, it's just nuts to me because this fight, early on, Lamosh should clearly win that first round. It's just that the gas tank of Lamosh is not great. Waterson has been there, fought a ton of great competition. So I see why people are taking the shot on Waterson as a big dog. But I think the power of Lamosh is going to be the difference. One of these fighters hit hard in Lamosh, and one of these fighters do not hit hard in Waterson. I think the power is going to sway those judges and ultimately win a decision there, but minus 285, it's just nuts to me. But I'll pick Lamosh to get it done for sure. And then Brian Ortega going against Yair Rodriguez. Ortega minus 175, Yair is plus 150. Pretty upset about this fight because I was taking a look on Sunday, and I do a show on Sunday with Uncle Weezy, and some of these props for Ortega were just nuts. Ortega by submission was plus 470. Ortega inside the distance was plus 230. The fight doesn't go to decision. It was minus 110. And I went to bet this fight. I wanted to wait till Monday because I do a Monday show where we break down the main event in extreme detail. And I usually like waiting till that Monday show to place my bets on the main event. Waited for that show. And then all of a sudden, the plus 470 submission prop is not there. The Ortega inside the distance prop plus 230 is not there. The fight doesn't go to decision, minus 110 is not there. All those lines got smashed over Sunday night, smashed to the point where it was upsetting to say the least. But that's why you kind of got to be on it. But I do have a bet here. I took Ortega. I bit the bullet. Ortega inside the distance, half a unit, plus 165. It's still around there, out there. I think Ortega, if he does win this fight, it's going to be inside the distance. He's finished all but one of his wins inside the UFC. The one win that he did not finish was against Korean Zombie, where he was close to finishing him 2 or 3 times. Ortega, tons of power on the feet, but the submission game is next level. I think if this fight hits the mat, Ortega's going to be very live for a submission there. That's why I would love that plus 470 earlier in the week, and I know some of you guys got it, but Ortega inside the distance, plus 165, half a unit. I feel like on the feet he's going to be dangerous. I feel like on the mat he's going to be dangerous. And again, if this fight hits the mat, it's going to be over probably shortly after there. So like me some Ortega here. If you're on Rodriguez, I don't know. Decision plus 290. Ortega's very hard to finish. This guy's chin is next level. I guess could knock him out. I don't think it's all that likely. But yeah, I like Ortega in this spot. I like him inside the distance. Half a unit, plus 165. So very light week. This is my lightest week of the year in terms of unit size. I literally thought I was going to have 0 bets. Ended up with 5, but, a bunch of sprinkles here. We have my biggest bet of the night. We have a Jack Short, Ricky Simone, over 2.5, 1.25 units, minus 210. I like the over in this fight. It was the thing. What I was going to do is look for a parlay with the Simone Jack Short over. Look for a parlay piece, but there's literally nothing I'd parlay in the card. So I just ended up playing it straight for a little bit, get a little back. And then I also have a quarter unit on the split decision. Somebody wins by split or majority decision. Simone Jack Shore on DraftKings Sportsbook. Quarter unit, plus 400. I have Sumidarji to win inside the distance, plus 130, half a unit. The Leech straight, plus 144, half a unit. And then also Ortega to win inside the distance, half a unit, plus 165. So 1, 2, 3, so 5 bets, 4 of them being plus money. My night really comes down to Ricky Simone, Jack Shore going over, so hope it does. But yeah, light week. Next week, a ton of action. 3 bets already, 10 units in total for those 3 bets, including a max bet for UFC London. So make sure you guys tune in, subscribe. Can't wait to break down this fight card next week. I'm already halfway through the card, so I might even get the prediction video out a little bit early as well. But leave a like on your way out, subscribe, all the good stuff, and best of luck for UFC Long Island. See you guys.